Greetings, dear ones. Today we're going to talk about suicide and understanding your life. I understand that many people are in a state of confusion, particularly the ones who are on this divine path and are finding life very difficult and the process difficult. Well, I've been going through this myself, and I've been finding quite a number of things to be of great difficulty. So, in as much as that I do not wish to be doom and gloom, I also understand that many people out there have nowhere to turn to, and that their support group may be very poor, as is mine. My support group is extremely poor and diminished, and I find that everything I do and all my objectives, I'm basically on my own. I just do not have anyone around me that is willing to be supportive or even to understand. They are just so few and far between. Now, understanding why we're here, a number of us have made a contract, and you may or may not remember this, but understand that we have, and that everything that's done by the highly evolved beings, it's all done by agreement. They're all verbal contracts. And I know that with my incarnating here, I made a verbal contract with Prime Creator because I said that I can do it. Well, I obviously knew exactly what I was getting into, and now going through the experience, it is extremely difficult. And it's no wonder why all of the beings out there are watching and observing us. They're observing us all. However, our star seeds have extra guardians and angels looking after us because it's required and necessary, because we're more sensitive to the others, so things affect us more. So we have a bigger support group. Anyway, they're all observing and watching us because we're like a big TV show to them. That's one thing. The other thing is that it's for the experience. They have chosen not to come here for their own reasons, and there's a limited number of people that can come here. So we are the privileged ones to be here. And I remind myself of this all the time. I also get these messages of that not to fail my contract, that I'm going to betray God by not fulfilling my contract. Well, the only real betrayal is of myself, because ultimately Prime Creator knows who and what it is, which is each and every one of us. It's every skerrick of energy that exists on this planet and throughout the universe, including all of the highly evolved beings. Prime Creator is everything. So we're not really going to fail anything. We just get to a certain point, and then we've had enough. Well, if you are thinking about suicide, or that you've had enough and life is too difficult, well, what really is difficulty? Have you got food on the table? Have you got a roof over your head? I mean, really, they're the real key things of life, aren't they? As long as we're getting everything else, or as long as we're getting those things, then it really can't be that bad. There are starving people in Africa. So I remind myself of these things. I've got this beautiful property and I am very, very blessed. But what people don't really know is that I'm on the verge of losing it. On the verge of it. Like the bank is nearly at the end of their tether. And the stress that's involved with that, it could be quite enormous. It's big, but it could be a lot worse, because I just remind myself that every time I move, I always go to something bigger and greater and better anyway. That's been my experience, because I have faith, because I'm always growing. And you can't build an old mansion, or you can't build a mansion or a house on top of an old dwelling. So maybe it's just that, you know, I've done what I've done here. I've built an energy centre that you can see in the background that I've been utilising. And maybe it is time to move to greener pastures. You know, we can hold on to material things all we like. But, you know, it's like you grab something with the palm of your hand and the tighter you squeeze, it goes between your fingers and runs out. So you're better off not trying to squeeze too hard. Don't try to fight for something too hard, because you could be missing something much better from around the corner. That's right waiting for you from right around the corner. And so you have to ask, is it really worth exiting? We have been given the privilege of being here. As long as there's food on the table, you got a roof over your head, and you have the capacity to use your cognitive abilities, we can always change things around. So these extraterrestrial beings, they're all watching and observing to see what we will do. They're in support of all the decisions that we make. And one of my greatest frustrations at the moment is I don't really particularly feel like I'm really seeing anything. And it's frustrating me to the maximum. You just feel like giving up the ghost. You just start thinking, what's the point? Well, there's probably a big point here, and that is that each of us carry a high frequency, and that alone is enough. That's enough. We don't actually really have to do anything. All we have to do is just be here, and that's enough, because of the beauty and the magnificence that we exude, even though we get all this rejection from everyone else. It's very difficult. And I'm here doing this because I'm reaching out, and I know that many other people are having a lot of difficulty and don't know where to go and where to turn. Well, I'm providing this channel as a community-based thing, and I'll just see where it takes me, and inherently takes us, whoever wants to join us. I intend on doing this regularly, hopefully, well, 2 or 3 times a week now. I've been a bit out of commission because I ran out of data and all blah blah blah. So we all have things, you know, can appear one way on the surface, but really you don't know what's going on inside. So my message is just to stay positive. Just hold your head up high, however you can. And do your best to be 100% emotionally connected with all of life so that you don't miss the opportunities. And these are the things that I keep reminding myself of. And failing, getting up, failing, getting up, failing, getting up. It's okay. No one's judging you but yourself. If you want to criticise and be your own judge, well, it just doesn't work. It doesn't get you anywhere. You're better off finding things that make you happy. And that's why I'm wearing this, because this makes me happy. It brings out my Arcturian soul. It helps me to be me. And so I'm going to wear it when I do these videos, just so that I can give myself permission to be free, and I can, by default, give you permission to be free, to be who you are, who you want to be. And I will walk into town and get all the looks and the judgments. Well, it's an experiment. We're allowed to be free. The only thing that contains us and imprisons us is our own selves. And I'm not going to do that. Males will be walking dead. Be free. Be who you are. Have absolute respect for all and sundry. Give unconditional love, firstly to yourself, and then you can give it to other people. It's time for us to all unite and support each other. So pray that the next video is a lot more positive, and that we can build from this negative, horrible foundation and build up and up and up and up, like the masters that we are. I love you all. God bless you. Namaste.